A massive cruise ship was slowly approaching the beach. At first, people paid no attention, until they realized the ship showed no signs of stopping. It was only then that they grasped the looming danger. Fortunately, the thick sand halted the ship's progress, and no one was hurt. But little did they know, this was just the beginning of a nightmare. When a family returned to their vacation rental, the wife immediately went online to investigate the incident. However, her husband informed her there was no signal whatsoever. The couple initially thought it was just a minor accident, but even after their children had drifted off to sleep, the internet remained down. They were left with no choice but to kill time in the living room. Suddenly, there was a frantic knocking at the door. It was already 2:30 a.m. The husband grabbed a baseball bat and cautiously approached the entrance, bracing himself for the unexpected. But when he opened the door, he was stunned to find a black father and daughter standing there. The man introduced himself as Scott, and shockingly, they claimed to be the owners of the house. Although the landlord's sudden arrival seemed a bit eerie, the couple still invited them inside. After some conversation, they learned that the landlords had encountered a widespread power outage on their way back to the city. Their car's navigation system had also lost signal, and the only place they could find was this very villa. They had come seeking shelter for the night. After some negotiation, they agreed to allow the black woman to stay in the villa on the condition that half of the rent would be refunded. However, when the landlord opened a cupboard to get the money, a weapon was clearly visible. Despite this, he didn't use it and readily handed over the cash to the couple. And so, the two families ended up staying under the same roof. Even though they were all living together, the wife couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. She asked the landlords to show their IDs. They readily agreed, but when it came to actually producing the documents, they seemed flustered and at a loss. Just as the wife was about to press further, a blaring alarm interrupted her. After listening to the broadcast, the couple's suspicions were allayed, and everyone realized the gravity of the situation. The landlords were then asked to stay in the basement. Never in their wildest dreams did the father and daughter imagine being treated this way in their own home. But the landlord calmly uttered a single sentence.
"We're not gonna do that by scaring them."
The next day, the couple slept in. When the wife finally picked up her phone, she discovered it had received several news alerts at some point. It turned out the internet outage was due to a hacker attack. But when she excitedly woke her husband, the news had mysteriously vanished. Even stranger, a herd of deer had appeared in their yard. This eerie scene seemed to portend an impending disaster. Determined to uncover the truth, the husband drove into the city in search of answers. Meanwhile, the landlord visited a nearby friend's house, only to find it completely deserted, as if it had been ransacked. After some searching, he discovered a satellite phone in the garage. But to his dismay, even the satellite phone was unresponsive. Hoping to get a signal, he decided to try his luck on the open beach. However, the sight that greeted him made his blood run cold. The shore was littered with airplane wreckage and corpses. Before he could even process the horrifying scene, another passenger jet came screaming overhead at an alarmingly low altitude. The title of the movie is Leave the World Behind. To two unrelated family members to explore the end of the world due to the development of society and usher in the end of the matter. Although the film looks like a disaster movie, but in the performance of the actors, the film is more like a suspense horror. When the end of the day, the world is out of touch, where will we go? Please say your views in the comments section.